What's up, folks? Stu Myrick, Sports Guys, talking wrestling on the horn. How you doing? Hope you're having a wonderful week so far. I know it's only Tuesday. Things are going well for being an absolute nutty last several days. The first segment of the show is already in the can, as I asked Nick Hausman from Wrestling Inc. to jump on, talk about the biggest story in wrestling right now, which is Vince McMahon retiring as CEO, chair of the board, head of creative for his company, for WWE. So that is in the can. It's actually, you can see it on YouTube now. We'd like for you to wait until after we go off the air tonight, but the video is on YouTube, so check that out. I think the gist of the whole thing is that while it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Vince, and as Nick and I pointed out, this had nothing to do with being 77 years old. This had nothing to do with he feels like he's finished his job. This was purely about, I don't know if saving his skin is appropriate or whatever, with all the different reports and all the different investigations that are going on into the company. It had to be done. It's kind of interesting. This is what took him down. Wasn't a steroid trial in the 90s. Wasn't how he, basically killed the territories back in the 80s. Wasn't Ted Turner. It was this. So, as far as what we will see going forward with WWE, made a good point, and of course we'll preview SummerSlam, but made a good point. I think it will start with the Monday Night Raw after SummerSlam, because I think, and Nick thought this as well, the creative for SummerSlam is probably already set, and I don't see that adjusted much. You might see something, but for the most part, I don't see that being adjusted. But next Monday, handling the booking, handling the creative. But yeah, as I mentioned, that's on YouTube, and it is in the segments already in the can for the radio show tomorrow night on the Horn. So meanwhile, we got NXT going on. Wesley just lost to Grayson Waller with thanks to an assist from Trick Williams. Now Indy Hartwell confronting one of the girls. I don't know who it is. You think after the last several months, I'm still learning names. But we got the women in NXT. So we'll see. But yes, so we will, as soon as Justin gets here, we will preview SummerSlam. As I mentioned, I don't see much in the way of like radical changes. We'll also look back at Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor. Claudio Castagnoli, the former Cesaro, finally gets the gold. He is finally a world champion. Kind of weird how that all went down and everything that surrounds it, but I thought it was a great show. It's and I think it set the tone for what a Tony Khan run Ring of Honor will look like. Now they still got to find a way to get back on TV every week. So far Tony Khan's had, I'll say, 1.5 pay-per-views. Because Supercard of Honor, a good chunk of that was already set up by Sinclair when Tony purchased the company. So he set up the rest, and so now this was the first full Tony Khan Ring of Honor experience, Death Before Dishonor. So we'll recap that as well, and should be interesting. It's going to be an interesting Saturday for me. I am going up to Dallas with Eddie Cross from Fight Night to cover the UFC pay-per-view. They'll be at the American Airlines Center. So I will definitely have my phone in hand streaming SummerSlam. Keep an eye on that during the UFC card. And I'll be honest, I'm not well versed on. I know Derek the Beast Lewis is going to be fighting Amanda Nunes. I think that she's in the main for UFC. And you'll hear the preview tomorrow night on Fight Night, which precedes Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the Horn at 8 p.m. So right now we got Zion Quinn taking on Apollo Crews. Oh, that was Ariana Grace. Okay. Sure. Anyway, Zion Quinn taking on Apollo Crews right now on NXT 2.0. Plus, we got a pretty deep slate of independent shows going on in Texas this weekend. I've got 5 listed, and I think I saw at least 1 or 2 more. So a lot of opportunities to see some independent wrestling this weekend. So, yeah. It's kind of, it's interesting watching Raw last night. The first Monday Night Raw that didn't have Vince McMahon running the ship. And it was different. There were differences. It felt like it flowed a little bit better. I'll be honest, it almost felt like it went pretty quickly. Instead of just dragging on and on and on, it felt like I looked up and it was like 9:30 p.m. Central. I was like, my God, 2.5 hours already? And you didn't have the endless video packages and stuff. Now we had I think we had a few rematches, but I think that's because Raw was probably booked before Vince retired. So, and they're building, they got to set up for SummerSlam, which right now I think we have 9 matches. 1, 2, 3, 6. Yeah, 9 matches right now. We'll see if anything gets added Friday night on SmackDown. But 9 matches. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 title matches. As of right now, the Intercontinental title, the only title not being defended. Again, that may change. You have Gunther having this rivalry with Shinsuke Nakamura. You wonder if that will come to a head at SummerSlam. We'll see. It'll be I'll be honest, it'll be disappointing if the IC title is not on that card. That'd be the only title not on that card. You've got every other title. Now, yes, Usos have both tag belts. Roman Reigns has both world belts. So, but still, it'd be a shame to have the Intercontinental Championship be the only championship not defended at SummerSlam. So, Apollo Crews backbreaker, and then big slam, hooks the leg, gets the 3. So Apollo Crews getting the win in NXT. They showed what was it? I think it was over the weekend at an NXT house show. It was it Cora Jade, who's turned heel? She now has the former Commander Aziz as a bodyguard as Justin Simmons walks through the door with his shades and his Osaka water bottle. How are you? Is it on? It is now. How are you?
Pretty tired.
Yeah? Workout?
No, I was working.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to do the gig work stuff, and they sent me out to like Manor, so I was like,
Manor. Home of the Mustangs.
Yeah, also home to a lot of traffic, apparently.
Yes, it is. Everybody going to that Walmart in Manor.
It
seems like, well, that's, so like when I come home from camp, because I go through Elgin and go down, 290. And on Sundays, it seems like it backs up really bad at the Walmart there in Manor. So
I think it's just bad urban planning.
Everything's
just
highly possible.
Highly possible. Everything relying on just one street going in and one street going out.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no side streets. So even in my hometown, there's like at least 3 different exits to get in and get out.
Right.
And hit the highway. But there, it was just like, there's like one.
Yeah, there isn't.
And it's a toll now.
It is. Yeah, it is. So. Oh, man. So.
So when did you get to talk to Nick? I'm sure that
we had. I was telling everybody the first segment's in the can with Nick Hausman from Wrestling Inc. We talked about Vince retiring. I think we both came to the agreement that, as far as creative goes, we'll see real changes start next Monday after SummerSlam. Because figure the creative for SummerSlam is probably already set, and they're not going to stray too much from it. You might see something, I don't know, but I think for the most part, next Monday on Raw, we'll start to see the Triple H influence. So,
I think that's being optimistic.
What do you mean? You don't think it's going to change at all?
It doesn't necessarily have to. Just because they're in charge doesn't mean that, everything necessarily changes. It's like, what happens if they're really just like, they're like the puppet head figure?
So you're saying Vince is going to control it from home or something?
Yeah. No different than when The Rock's grandmother was under indictment and basically puppeted the whole promotion thing through her daughter.
Yeah, last thing, but I don't know.
I know, but this is Vince McMahon we're talking about.
I know. I mean, last night felt different. on Raw. Different flow. You didn't see near as many video packages. You didn't see. I mean, you started out with that brawl with Logan Paul and Miz. I mean, there was some changes, and that's what I'm saying. I think we're going to see more of those changes, especially after SummerSlam. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see. I think Vince right now, he's too busy trying to evade the SEC and the feds and.
I mean,
yeah,
it wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, but this one seems like it's gonna stick.
I mean, well, this one was written down in paper, so unfortunately, there's a whole trail.
Yeah, when you
not unfortunately,
when you
but
don't
I mean,
report
like, for him, unfortunately,
you don't report $14.5 million.
0.6.
I thought it was 0.5. Well, either way, you don't report that on your financial statements, and then all of a sudden, you decide you need to. Yeah, there's a problem. So, all right, let's get this going. With SummerSlam preview. So let's mute this. Back here on Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the Horn. Stu Myrick, Justin the Smash Simmons, easy for me to say, joining me.
I was just about to tell you, I need a clip of that. I did my ode to Mr. Perfect, and I actually caught the pen, didn't miss it, flipped it, and everything. So I'm going to have to cut the clip. If you follow us on Twitch, you can see it live when we actually get this shindig on the road.
By the way, if you do, in case you didn't know, we do live stream our show on Twitch and YouTube. Every Tuesday night, so make sure you go to those. Just search Sports Guys Talking Wrestling, and you can see us as we record and talk about wrestling. So, big thanks again to Nick Hausman from Wrestling Inc. for joining me. I want to get your take because I mean you were born after Vince bought the company from Vince Sr. So
I know no
your
other
whole
world.
Your whole life has been.
I know no other world.
I mean,
Monday
Night Raw.
I was born before Monday Night Raw was a thing,
right?
But
I was going to point out we had the first Monday Night Raw without Vince McMahon at the controls. So.
I mean, not only that, but just for it to be in New York.
At Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, their proverbial home, if you will. And that for it to be where it's going to kick off a new era, I mean, I guess poetic in a way.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, don't get me wrong. It's kind of like when anybody that you, I guess admire would be a strong word, but somebody that you have respect for because of what they've been able to accomplish either professionally or artistically.
Yeah.
And then for them, like, not to be a good person, and then that's where you gotta start to separate like the art and the person itself. It's like I hate to say it, but somebody like Bill Cosby, I understand for a time being he was like
he was America's dad,
exactly, and now you just have to take it at face value. So you gotta separate the character and the person from deep down. But no doubt that there was a lot of stuff that he accomplished, and we wouldn't have this show if it wasn't for what Vince McMahon decided to do and go against the grain at the time. And his idea worked.
I like how Nick characterized Vince's legacy as complicated, and I think that's probably the best way to describe it. So again, we will see how WWE goes in the future. In their immediate future, they have SummerSlam this Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. It'll be on Peacock. Come to us from Nissan Stadium, the home of the Tennessee Titans, in Nashville, Tennessee. Right now, 9 matches on the card.
Well, let me ask you the important question then,
okay.
Stu. How excited are you for what is supposed to essentially be WrestleMania number 2 of the year?
You know, it's interesting. And we have seen this with each one of WWE's premium live events, as they like to call them now, where the build is okay at best, but the event ends up being really good. So I think we will see some great wrestling on Saturday.
Now, when you say wrestling, are you saying that because it's like post Vince McMahon?
No. And that's the thing. And that's what Nick and I were talking about. I really think the creative, Triple H is taking over creative. I think the creative that was set up for SummerSlam, by Vince, I think that's still going to be there. There might be some tweaks, but I think for the most part, that's still there.
Yeah, okay.
But I think we will see Triple H start putting his imprint on WWE Creative with Monday Night Raw next Monday.
Well, did you catch the Ciampa promo? Where he's going off on like the wall and how Miz has been there for 18 years. I mean, it was good, it was intense, and it was short. I'm thinking maybe that's a guy that's going to get a push now that Triple H is...
He needs to. I mean, he is one of Triple H's guys. From NXT. He's
he's solid
with him and Gargano and DIY and the rivalry and everything.
He's got the full package except for the hype that Vince McMahon likes, but he's not a factor anymore. So it's just like, I think that's probably the most interesting aspect is like, oh, who could possibly come back? Yeah. And who might get pushed that wasn't getting pushed before?
Yeah, we will see. Let's go through the card. You've got Logan Paul, the YouTube sensation, I guess.
But,
taking on Miz.
It's fitting that he's taking on Miz, though, because Miz is like their original reality TV celebrity that went through the rigors and actually did become...
As I introduced him on at Radio Road Super Bowl, Kevin Dunn's former flatmate.
That's right.
From the real world.
But Logan Paul's kind of like the new generation of that. Got on YouTube. Everybody knows his life, at least from that aspect, from behind the camera, which tends to be like almost like a daily interactive thing. And now WWE has him set up against the original reality TV guy, and it really does fit for me.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Who's going to get the bigger cheers? Because look, Monday night. They were booing Logan Paul.
Oh yeah, but
the crowd doesn't like it.
I thought they brought him in for like the magnetic heat that Logan Paul just tends to bring to like more of the audience.
No, Miz is the heel.
I honestly wouldn't have believed it that way.
You're right. It doesn't look that way, but I think Logan Paul takes this one.
No.
You think Miz?
I think it's going to be like disqualification or something.
Yeah, there'll be some shenanigans, so. But I think Logan Paul gets the win here. In a no disqualification match, you saw this set up Monday night on Raw. The Mysterios, Rey and Dominic, take on Finn Balor and Damian Priest, the Judgment Day. And now apparently Rhea Ripley is at least with them ringside or whatever. Is this when Dominic Mysterio finally turns on Rey?
No, not this isn't the time or place. Like,
I would think this is the perfect time or place.
Nah, I think there's more to the story than just this.
The fan in me hopes not. Hopefully they never have, because it would just break my heart. You don't want to see, father son, but no DQ match. I got a feeling Judgment Day goes over on this one.
Really?
I don't know.
I'm thinking it's like SummerSlam, and
I think Rhea Ripley could insert herself.
I'm sure she could, but I also feel that like Mysterio's daughter would then kind of become part of the situation.
Did you see those two face off?
Yeah.
That long-term storytelling from Buddy. What was it? Buddy Matthews now.
Yeah.
But,
It came full circle for him. How funny.
Riddle facing Seth freaking Rollins.
Ooh, I'm excited about that. You know it's going to be one of those matches that could steal the whole night.
I think it will be. I think in the end, I think Rollins takes the loss.
Really? Man, that's tough. I mean, because he's been, giving everybody the win here recently.
Yeah.
I think it's time for him to get a W at a main event.
It's possible. I mean, I'm not. Look, I'll be honest. These picks,
like, what's this
outside of the main event? These picks, these are not. I'm not going to bet the house on these.
I mean, but I
can see it going either way.
But that's a good thing, right? Yeah. More so than normally because
somewhat, I guess. This isn't,
Are we not being too difficult as wrestling fans then?
I don't know.
Because I was like, I'm actually excited that we can't guess most of these, like, just clean cut. It can go, 50-50 a lot of ways. Like, I could see Riddle on the road, and he would be the ultimate baby face, and they need new faces.
Yeah. Pat McAfee taking on Happy Corbin. This is going to be a hell of a fight. In the end, Pat McAfee gets the win.
Well, yeah. But,
we know that's going to happen.
But I'm interested to see how that's going to happen.
I think it'll be good. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 title matches. Bobby Lashley defending the United States Championship against Theory.
I think Theory wins.
I don't.
You don't think so?
No.
No,
Lashley,
man. Even without Vince, Theory is clearly like their version of MJF right now.
I mean, no. You just gave Lashley the title. You're not gonna. I don't think you're gonna take it right off of him again. So,
I think you do though because he's the guy. He's the future.
Bianca Belair defending the Raw Women's title against Becky Lynch. I think Bianca Belair gets her win back from SummerSlam last year.
Yeah.
And I think Bianca retains.
I don't know, man. I really think Becky Lynch could win. I really do.
Oh, she could win. I think Bianca Belair will win.
I think it's gonna.
I think she will retain.
I think it's gonna be Bex. I think she's just due.
Liv Morgan defending the SmackDown Women's title against Ronda Rousey. Every logical bone in my body says Ronda Rousey will get the title back.
For real?
But there's something that tells me Liv Morgan will find a way to retain.
Oh, I was going to say there was no doubt. I mean, they're going to keep it with Liv. I just don't see it changing.
I really do.
She's a much more naturally over wrestler than Ronda is.
She is, and I don't know the dynamic of Ronda. Are we turning her heel? I don't know. It's odd. For the undisputed WWE Tag Team titles, the Usos defending against the Street Profits. Special guest referee, the WWE Hall of Famer, Double J, Jeff Jarrett, who will be wrestling the following day in Ric Flair's last match.
No, busy weekend, but he doesn't have to travel too far.
Nope. He's still in Nashville.
The Usos retain.
I want to say the Street Profits finally. They've been knocking this one for the last couple of months. But as much as I want to see the Street Profits win,
I think I
got a feeling the Usos are going to retain by hook or by crook.
I think that the Street Profits are essentially the modern day reincarnation of the Rockers. Like both really good wrestlers. For a big man, Dawkins can move really well. He showed you on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Everybody keeps on saying
that. We know what Montez Ford can do.
Yeah, everybody keeps on saying he's going to be like the next Shawn Michaels, essentially. He's like the next breakout star. But I think they're going to be just like the Rockers. They end up breaking up before they win the gold.
Yeah, you may be right. And then, last match, last time, last man standing. Roman Reigns defending the undisputed WWE Universal Championship against Brock Lesnar. Got two things to talk about. First of all, who gets the win between those two? And look, as much as I enjoy watching Cowboy Brock right now, I think a lot of folks don't see Brock coming out of there with the title.
I think he wins.
You think he wins?
Yeah, why not?
So you're going to stop Roman Reigns one day before hitting 700 days as champion?
Yeah, it's still WWE. I think that's something.
I think it's still WWE is why Roman retains the title. So now, Theory has said ever since he won the briefcase, he is going to cash in at Money in the Bank. Does he cash in?
You mean he's going to cash in the Money in the Bank?
He is going to cash in the contract cash in the contract at SummerSlam and win the title. Does he cash in?
I mean, we just saw Liv Morgan do it last month, so
that was at Money in the Bank. She did that.
If it's Brock Lesnar and he's hurt, yes, but if it's Roman Reigns, then no.
For some reason, I get the sneaky suspicion he won't. But I don't know. I think when he does cash in, he'll lose. I don't think he wins. He's not going to win the title. He's not ready yet.
Maybe, but I'm like, he's obviously the future.
Yeah, but that's future.
I mean,
it's not now. He's not now.
It's pretty close to it, though.
Yeah, but he's not now.
He's already got the look. He has the promo skills.
Yeah, but he's not now. It's not going to happen now. I think whenever he cashes in, he'll lose. So we shall see on Saturday. WWE SummerSlam, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central this Saturday. Get it on Peacock if you're in the United States, WWE Network if you're international, from Nissan Stadium, the home of the Titans in Nashville. So going to take a quick time out. When we come back, we'll let you know what's happening in independent wrestling around the area. You're listening to Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the Horn. Went 16-12 on that one. I thought we'd go shorter. All right, well, that's okay. What's Jordan Devlin doing? He's walking. He's talking to Wade Barrett, and now he's talking to Vic Joseph. Let's turn it up a little bit. So. And now he's squeezing on Vic Joseph's collarbone, but I guess he's introducing himself to people. I guess he's probably going to call out Braun Breaker because I think that was the Irish ace. Yep, it's Braun Breaker. Okay.
Oh, he's Irish too.
So, well, yeah. I wonder if he'll go back to being Braun Steiner. We'll see. All right, let's do the last segment. 16, 39, 36. All right, here we go. Back here on Sports Guys Talking Wrestling, Stu Myrick, Justin Smash Simmons. This weekend, independent wrestling in Texas it's like everybody's playing in their cards. I got 5 cards to tell you about this weekend. We will start in Houston. New Texas Pro Wrestling presents Texas Contenders Series number 2, Thursday at Houston Premier Arena. Bell time 7 p.m. Central. Max Beckett, Levi Lucas, Stevie Hendricks, MJ Santana, and more. That's New Texas Pro Wrestling this Thursday night in Houston. VIP Wrestling presents Aftermath Friday at the Haltom Theater in Haltom City. Bell time 8 p.m. Central. Brian Cage from Ring of Honor will be there. Shane Taylor, Gino Medina, Holodead, and more. That's VIP Wrestling this Friday night in Haltom City. Smash Mouth Wrestling presents Knuckle Up Saturday at the Austin Arena in Wills Point. Bell time 6 p.m. Central. Barrett Brown, Izzy James, Blue Gotti Starrett, Matthew Palmer, and more. That's Smash Mouth Wrestling this Saturday night in Wills Point. Undisputed Pro Wrestling Texas presents Fight Fire with Fire Saturday at the Santa Fe Fire and Rescue Station number 1 in Santa Fe. Bell time 7 p.m. Central. Estrella Galactica, David Duperon, Exodus Prime, Dill Dempsey, and more. That's Undisputed Pro Wrestling Texas this Saturday night in Santa Fe. And Metroplex Wrestling presents Summer Stunners Saturday at the MPX Arena in Bedford. Bell time 8 p.m. Central. Dimitri Alexandrov, Tommy Becker, Sky De La Cremosa, and more. That's Metroplex Wrestling this Saturday in Bedford. And that's a look at independent wrestling around the area. Wherever you may be, go out and support independent wrestling.
Where is Willis Point?
Willis Point's it's close to the Metroplex, kind of hit East Texas. It's where East Texas kind of goes into the Metroplex. Yeah, so I only know it because we played them in football when I was in high school.
Oh, okay.
So, Ring of Honor this past Saturday, Death Before Dishonor, and the Swiss Superman, for the first time in his career, finally gets a world title. Congratulations, Claudio Castagnoli.
I mean, congrats, but so muddled. So much controversy.
There was controversy. Jonathan Gresham, if you believe the rumor innuendo, apparently had a shouting match backstage with Tony Khan and was upset about lack of communications. He even deactivated his Twitter account right after the match.
But he's not the first wrestler to claim that either, though.
Yeah, it's happened.
And I think the other thing is like everybody strongly, or at least I strongly question putting your world title out first, like first match of the day.
That was an odd one, but
if it's supposed to be so important,
yeah. And Tony Khan addressed it in the post-event media conference where he mentioned he basically had a coin flip. It was going to be either that match or FTR Briscoes 2, and FTR Briscoes 2 won. So
I just think it would have been a better moment for Claudio, just because it would have been his.
It would have been.
It would have been the cherry on the top, because you already knew that the FTR Briscoe match was going to kill.
Yeah. Speaking of which, FTR gets the win against the Briscoes. I won't say it was better than their Supercard of Honor match. I say it was different because of the 2 out of 3 falls dynamic. It was still a hell of a match. All 4 men battered and everything. Interesting that Blackpool Combat Club comes out afterwards and said, "Hey, maybe we want a shot." So the only other title change, Dalton Castle and our guys, the boys, the new Ring of Honor World 6-Man Tag Team Champions, defeating the Righteous. So good seeing Brent and Brandon out there.
I know.
Doing their deal.
They've been on a journey, working all over the independent scene, and, lo and behold, they get to come back and kind of get the band back together, and now they're holding some gold. So it's good to see that.
Yeah, it was good to see that. No other titles changed hands. Samoa Joe won. Mercedes Martinez won. Wheeler Yuta won. That was an interesting match. Wheeler Yuta, Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia basically showing all sorts of disrespect for the pure way of wrestling. You had Roosh defeating Dragon Lee in a battle of the brothers. That was a great match. Mm-hmm. Interesting. They brought back Prince Nana.
Yeah.
He had, quote, bought, in quote, Tully Blanchard Enterprises. Now, again, you believe the rumor and innuendo, Tully Blanchard it seems he may be done with AEW and Ring of Honor.
We'll
see.
I think it's pretty safe to say.
Tony Khan wished him well and wants to see him again, but right now, so now it's no longer Tully Blanchard Enterprises. It's now the Embassy with the Gates of Agony, Brian Cage. But yeah, Prince Nana, good to see him back in Ring of Honor. So a lot of good stuff. All in all, I think it was a really good show. Really enjoyable. They also announced during the show Bryan Danielson. He has been cleared. So this week, and of course, if you're listening to this on the horn, you've already seen it. Bryan Danielson on Fight for the Fallen, AEW Dynamite. He will take on Daniel Garcia. But it'll be good to see the American Dragon back in the ring.
Well, it's a dream match for a lot of fans because they kind of see Garcia as like the second coming of what Daniel Bryan is now.
Absolutely. That'll do it for this week's Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. You can follow Justin the Smash Simmons on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at The Smash Simmons. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Stu Myrick. That's STEWMYRICK. You can follow the show on Twitter and Twitch at SGTWATX. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. We live stream on YouTube and Twitch most Tuesday nights at 7:30 p.m. Central. Or you can catch us Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Central on the flagship station for the Texas Longhorns and your radio home in Austin for the Dallas Cowboys. Training camp starts soon. On the Horn, 104.9, 101.9 FM and AM 1260. Or you can catch us anytime on demand by either going to hornfm.com and click on the on-air tab or by subscribing to us on your favorite podcast provider. Make sure you rate review us while you're there. Big thanks to Nick Hausman from Wrestling Inc. for joining us, and big thanks to you for giving us a little bit of your time tonight. For Justin, I'm Stu. Have a great rest of your week. We will see you at the matches.
Goodbye and good night. Bang!
And there we go. Roxanne has the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship belt. One of them. The other one's in the bin, as our UK friends say.
Oh, that's right.
She threw it in the trash. Oh, uh-oh. Medusa.
Who?
Well, Alundra Blaze.
Thank you. I know who you're talking about.
But I know her about Medusa. Symbolic, and they pull the title back out. Kind of neat that they bring Alundra Blaze / Medusa back when
she still looks great too. Like amazing shape.
Oh yeah. She's made several appearances. She was appearing with the NWA, some other places. I think she's supposed to be at StarCast this weekend in Nashville. Now she has both belts. Maybe they're going to do a tournament.
But you see,
maybe they'll do a women's tag tournament that the main roster hasn't done yet.
Well,
that'll be another thing. Will they bring back the women's tag titles on the main roster?
I'm assuming you guys went through that whole will they bring back Sasha Banks talk and stuff, right?
We didn't. Actually, we didn't mention Sasha or Naomi. We did talk about those that were cut for budget reasons. Who could we see back? But that's another question. Could you see Sasha Banks find her way back to WWE?
She doesn't need them necessarily. At least it seems like right now. But if they were smart, they would sign somebody like her who has crossover appeal, because that's what they always value the most.
Yeah, you would think.
Like, who's famous outside of another medium that's on their roster right now, except for Logan Paul? I can't think of anybody else that's doing
Miz
movie.
Miz is on.
I guess he's
USA Network.
I guess he's still doing reality TV.
Yeah. You've got you got Xavier Woods on G4 doing all the video gaming stuff.
True, but Sasha was in Mandalorian. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, there was a lot
Yeah,
of
I
people that
watched.
watched that, even if
Yeah.
I don't watch it.
I watched it. I'm a Star Wars fan. That's all. Oh, Andre Chase is he's gonna get murked by Giovanni Vinci.
You think so?
Okay, yeah. Andre's not winning this one.
Back to the way that a
You
lot
know,
were.
more of. Well, we talked about stuff that are in whether it's AEW. We'll see. Okay, here we go. Fatal 4-Way next week for the tag titles. Looks like it's and then the 2